With the 15th pick and with the 26th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Luke. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Rapid React Quickly on the R3, dressed in all black like the... Wait a minute. This is not all black, which means we didn't lose. And I'm surprised. Not going to lie to you. And if we would have played any of the other 30 teams around the league, we probably lose today. But the Detroit Lions simply did not want to win. They turned the ball over 5 times. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 5 times in this game. Count them, 5. All right? Against a Redskins defense that had been giving it up to any and everybody. The defense looked like they were going to do that thing that they do where they play a strong first half and then vomit all over themselves in the second half. They came out, they ran it down our throats. Jeff Driscoll was doing whatever the hell he wanted to do, but they weren't giving up touchdowns. They gave up 1 touchdown today. That's it. 1 touchdown, 3 field goals. They kept this team in the ball game when they didn't even want to keep themselves in this game. Dwayne Haskins was awful in this game. We'll get to him in a second. Let's start with the defense because we've killed the defense all season long. And today they were actually the reason the Redskins won this football game. Now, sprinkle in a little bit of special teams. They were outstanding. All right. But if you win 2 phases of the game, generally you win in this league. The Redskins won special teams, okay? The Lions gave up a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. They missed a field goal. They end up losing the game by 3. And they had a fumble, okay? Well, they didn't have a fumble on special teams. But they gave up another big return early in the game. So their special teams was awful. They had a guy field a punt inside the 2-yard line, okay? Bonehead mistake. Again, they wanted to lose this game. They did everything in their power to give us a chance to win. And we really didn't want to win. We really didn't want to win, but we got the win. So our special teams was outstanding. Tressway, he's got to go to the Pro Bowl this year. He's the only Pro Bowler we have. So we got to get him in there. He was outstanding today. He boomed the football. There were a couple of times we were backed up deep in our own territory, and he had to come in and really smash the football to force the Lions to have to, drive a long length of field. Dustin Hopkins was probably your co-MVP of the day. He had 4 field goals, 4 for 4, where their kicker missed one. He did not. The 1 extra point he made and 4 for 4 on his field goals, including the game winner. So, and that one wasn't a gimme. It was from 42. So Dustin Hopkins was outstanding today. So he's one of those guys that would get a game ball today for the victory. And this, like I said, Steven Sims, obviously, without his return, there is no touchdown, and there's another week without a Redskins touchdown on the scoreboard. So thank God for Steven Sims Jr. So with that being said, the special teams was outstanding. The defense, what can we say? What more can I say about this defense? When you force 5 turnovers in a game, there's not much more for me to say, okay? Redskins have 1 turnover and 2 turnovers, excuse me. Haskins had a fumble and an interception thrown, and the defense generated 5. The fact that you can generate 5 turnovers and only muster 19 points is a travesty in itself. However, I'm not going to poo-poo what the defense was able to do today. I'm not going to say that it was Jeff Driscoll and they did what they were supposed to do. At the end of the day, they went out and they forced the issue in this ball game, and Jeff Driscoll was not very good. He was not very good. Did he have 3 interceptions or 4 interceptions? I feel like this was a 4 interception game. Let's see. Fab had 2. You had, I'm trying to think. Fab had 2. Dunny had 1. So he only threw 3. So when we forced 4 turnovers. Excuse me. I misspoke. 4 turnovers forced in this game by the Redskins. 3 Driscoll interceptions and a fumble by Bo Scarborough. And so you gotta give hats off to the defense. Look, let me first say that Fab Moreau, one of those interceptions came in the slot, and that was the final one. But Thad Moreau looks so much better out wide, and I killed him earlier in the season when he was out wide very briefly versus the Minnesota Vikings. Remember, Stephon Diggs gave him a nasty in and out move on a slant, and this guy turned all the way around 360 style and was nowhere to be found on a simple 5-yard slant. I was like, oh, this guy can't even play out wide now. He may be salvageable after all, okay? He may be salvageable after all. That first interception in the first half, thing of beauty, All right, put the receiver on his hip, then located football, then made a play on the ball. That's as good as you can do it. Then throughout the game, had some really good plays, was physical in the running game as a tackler and run support. I thought Fabian Moreau had a strong game, then had the game-clinching interception. Thad Moreau was outstanding in this game. He absolutely was. So hats off to him. Jimmy Moreland actually had a strong game. What happened to big play Jimmy, though? Like, this is the second week in a row he's dropped an interception. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I thought Jimmy was strong today, man. I like what I saw. And I'm good for the Redskins staff. It feels like they're finally figuring some shit out in terms of what point of the season we're at. Play the young boys, man. To hell with Josh Norman. His ass was on special teams today, okay? They had Simeon Thomas out there when Thad Moreau went down. And when Fab got healthy, he got back out there. They didn't 1 second think about putting Josh Norman on the football field today. Good for them. Good for them. So I thought everybody that got out there, played a role, did their thing. Up front, it was not the greatest performance up front, but I thought they did an admirable job, forcing some holding penalties and getting to Jeff Driscoll, forcing him out of the pocket, making him use his legs. There was a sack by Jonathan Allen in there. Montez Sweat with a sack. Look, he was unblocked. But see, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. When you give teams different looks, you confuse them sometimes and guys come free. Just like the Cole Holcomb sack. This is why we need a new defensive coordinator. Because when you get creative, you force the the offense to have to adjust. And sometimes they don't make the proper adjustments. They think the guys that are mugging the A-gap are coming. They drop out. Cole Holcomb comes free off the edge because they pinched the line inside to pick up the two guys that they thought were coming up the A-gap. And now Cole Holcomb gets a free sack. Same thing with the Montez Sweat situation. They overloaded the left side of the offense's side of the field, and they couldn't pick up Montez Sweat. He comes free, lights the quarterback up, ball loose. Like, that's how you do it, okay? But it took them 12 weeks to figure some things out. I'm still not giving Greg Minuski any credit. This should have been done at the beginning of the season, not week 12, not because you're playing against Jeff Driscoll and you feel comfortable doing some things to him. Bottom line is, the defense stepped up today. You say what you want. John Bostic had a strong game. Cole Holcomb was solid today. Monte Nicholson was okay. The defense was solid today. Across the board, they won this team the football game along with special teams. Not a lot bad you can say about this defense other than they should have been doing this shit all season long. And yeah, it is the Detroit Lions. So you take it with a grain of salt. But a win's a win's a win in the National Football League. And so I'm happy for the guys in the locker room. We saw how happy they were as they left the field. Happy for Dwayne getting his first career NFL win as a starter. Happy for all the guys that put in the work on a weekly basis, day in, day out. And it's good to actually see something come of it. And so they get a win. Let's get to the offense now. I'll save Dwayne for last because I don't have a lot of nice things to say about Dwayne today in particular. However, Terry McLaurin, what more can I say about him? What more can I say about Terry McLaurin, man? That catch to put us in the field goal range, to put us in comfortable field goal range was ridiculous. That was not a well-thrown football. As a matter of fact, it was too damn high, which was the theme of the day for Dwayne Haskins. But he went up and got it. That is a baller play by our best wide receiver, but he's got help. He's got a tag team partner. I actually like what we're brewing at the receiver position. Kelvin Harmon, you saw the one-hand grab in the first hand. We talked about that during the halftime show. This man was outstanding in this game. Came this close to catching a deep ball. They fell asleep behind the wheel, and Harmon almost made him pay on 3rd and long. He was outstanding in this game. All right? Those two are, I think, the building blocks of our wide receiver group. Now, we still need more, but those two are the foundation of what we're going to build at wide receiver. We need tight end help. We could use some help in the slot. If Trey Quinn isn't going to be a instant winner, try Steven Sims there a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, get Sims on the field. We see what he can be in this offense. Get him more opportunities instead of just running him in motion on ghost jet sweeps. I know every now and again you're going to hand it to him, but I'd like to actually see him get opportunities to touch the football. And whether that's in the screen game, a slant, whatever, I'd like to see Steven Sims get more opportunities to touch the football. But that being said, I thought that Geis was solid today. He wasn't great, but he was solid. I thought he did some good things. So did the old man, Adrian Peterson. I thought he did some good things, especially on that final drive, the catch to start the drive off, the 3rd down and 1 run that he had to extend the possession. All of those things on that particular drive to get the Redskins into field goal position to tie the game. I thought Peterson was massive on that drive as well when the Redskins needed him to step up there. So he was solid. And so I thought there was a lot of really solid performances for what was an anemic offensive day until the latter stages of the 4th quarter. Speaking of which, why was this an anemic offensive day? The guy throwing the football under center, Dwayne Haskins, he was not good at all today. And it wasn't anything mental. And so I'm encouraged by the fact that he didn't make any boneheaded mistakes, or there wasn't any procedural penalties with guys not lining up in there. We're past all of those things now. So that's good that we're seeing progress there. We don't have to worry about those things anymore. But guys running open. And we knew we were going to get opportunities in this game because the Lions, as I told you, during the Redskins Nightly News on Thursday, play a ton of man-to-man coverage. Bill Callahan had talked about it all week and how the opportunities were going to come and you just had to hit guys when they were available. And even Kevin O'Connell, who I'm going to talk about here in a second, talked about that as well. You're going to get some man-to-man looks. I thought they were going to try to trick us. I thought that they were going to show, they've shown man-to-man. They're a primarily man-to-man ball club, and I thought they were going to switch it up because Dwayne struggled with zone last week. And look, it's a rookie quarterback. The easiest way to confuse a rookie is to play zone. You play man, it's easy. Anybody can identify man and find a wide open receiver and hit him. So I didn't think they would do that, but they did. They played a ton of man, and guys were open today. You know, one of the few times that they played zone, Kelvin Harmon gets behind the zone, and there's a chance for a big play there. Haskins was inaccurate all day long. It started on the 2nd possession of the game with McLaurin running wide open for a touchdown, and he misses him there. And it just kind of continued throughout the day. Trey Quinn on an out route. I already told you, one of the worst routes Dwayne throws is an out route. Now, normally the one to his front side, he doesn't have a problem throwing. It's the one to his backside where he's got to throw across his body that he struggled with. Well, Trey Quinn opened on a 3rd and 2 late in the first half. You want to get that first down so that the Lions can't get the football back to try to get a field goal, which they ultimately did, or a touchdown. They got a field goal to cut it to a 1-score game at 13-6. You like to complete that on 3rd and 2, get the first down, and force the Lions, if they want the ball back, to start using their timeouts. Instead, he misses Quinn. They get the ball back. They end up getting a field goal. That was a missed opportunity. I can't tell you how many times Terry McLaurin was open in this game, and Haskins just simply didn't get it to him in a manner in which he could catch it. The one I really wanted, you know, for as bad as Haskins played today and all the misses and all the mistakes, you know, and when I say mistakes, he should have thrown 2 interceptions in this game. He threw 1, and both were out-breaking routes. Again, this is a theme with him. To me, right now with Dwayne, my biggest struggle with him, and I think he's struggling with this, is finding that happy medium. And what do I mean by that? So right now, he struggles with touch. I told you he's either super fastball, okay, 97, 98 miles an hour, and usually inaccurate to boot, or it's too short, okay? So he's pulling the string on it. It's not enough on it. With the out-breaking route, either he's too high and too fast outside, like on the Trey Quinn out route, or it's too inside. Like he can't find that happy medium. The pick that he threw, that was too far inside. That's why I got picked off. The breakup late in the game that easily could have been picked by Darius Slay, that was too far inside. Okay? He's got to do a better job of leading the receiver to the outside with a catchable football. He struggles with that. He struggles with touch. Either the ball is too high on a flat trajectory or it's too short. He's got to find that ability to put some air under the ball, drop it in so that guys can run under the football. That's what you saw today. Those are correctable in terms of Now, again, I struggle with guys that don't have touch because I don't think touch is something you can develop. But there is a certain trajectory he can put on the football, okay? You don't necessarily have to have the best touch to have trajectory, but normally those two things go hand in hand. So I don't know if he's going to clean that up, but he can be more accurate. I can tell you that damn much. Some of these passes didn't need trajectory, like the Terry McLaurin miss early in the game that should have been a touchdown. It had nothing to do with trajectory. That just was a miss. Now, there were some good throws in there too, but the misses far outweigh the good throws that he had today. Okay, so there isn't that balance like we had last week where you're like, man, you know, he had some really good throws and there are a couple of misses, some plays he'd like to have back, but all in all, it was a solid day. No, it wasn't solid today. He was bad today. The Redskins won this game in spite of Haskins. Now, I did like what he did down the stretch, the running that he did. I thought he was more impressive with his legs than his arms today. You know, the run on that final drive, that was a huge run that kind of got the Redskins in field goal range. Then the throw to McLaurin was huge. Again, not a good throw. It was not a good throw. McLaurin went and climbed the ladder and went and got that. He's a baller, but he made the throw. It was a catch nonetheless. And so I'm hoping this gives him some confidence. We needed a game like this. I wanted to see Haskins in a situation. I don't know if we're going to get many more of these where we're actually in a game late with him having a chance to author a game-winning drive. All right, now he's got one under his belt. I wanted to see how he would do in situations like this. This is all building towards the future, okay? He needs to be in situations like this to see how he handles it. Thought he was really good down the stretch. Now, I wanted the one to McLaurin in the end zone bad. That would have really been cherry on top because that was a really good drive. You know, he had to strike over the middle to Harmon and everything was kind of in sync. He had a nice throw to Geis out in the flats. I thought that whole drive just smelt and felt like confidence. And then if you hit McLaurin on that fade ball from the slot for the touchdown, we feel totally different about this start. I do, at least. I can't speak for you. But because he missed that and you had to rely on a field goal to tie the game and then the defense gets an interception to give you a chance to then get into field goal range, I feel totally different about how all of that went down because I wanted that to be a touchdown. And against better teams, if you don't hit those touchdowns, the one to McLaurin in the first quarter, the one to McLaurin in the fourth quarter, you don't hit those opportunities, you lose. You lose. I mean, again, we were fortunate to be playing the Lions. Of all the teams remaining on the schedule, maybe outside of the Giants, anybody else, we probably lose the game today because you can't kick 4 field goals. You can't miss opportunities in the end zone for touchdowns and expect to win and have to settle for field goals. That's a losing recipe. You know the mantra. You know the saying, okay? You know how it goes. Field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. But in this particular case, when the opposition wants to kick field goals as well, you got a chance to win by field goals, and that's what happened today. They wanted to kick field goals. We wanted to kick field goals. We made one more than they did, and so we win the game 19-16. So Haskins has to play better. But, again, I'm just happy he's playing, period. Okay? He needs this type of experience, and though he didn't play well, there's plenty of room for improvement. These weren't mental mistakes. These were just misses. He needs to be more accurate. I strongly believe he will. But guess what? There's nothing like correcting your mistakes with a win. So that confidence hopefully bleeds over to next week on the road. We'll see what happens. I'm now looking forward to seeing how he responds to his first win of the season, his first come-from-behind win of his career, his first game-winning drive of his career. Now I'm anxious to see how he takes that. Does this kind of feed into his confidence, so to speak? And does he now feel like, all right, I got this now? Or does he regress against better teams? Because there are better teams on the horizon for the Redskins. And so want to see how he does. Anxious to see how he parlays this win over the Lions and what does he turn this into. So it's a win. You know, I'm kind of torn because you're now 2 games away from the number 1 overall pick, and you're closer to all the other bad teams now. There are a bunch of teams with 2 wins, like the Dolphins, who we beat head-to-head. So you're now back into the mix with everybody else. And, you know, the Falcons had this little resurgence. They still stink. They got their ass whooped today at home. So they're a 3-win team. So now we're closer to all those teams as well. The Bengals have the number 1 pick locked up. That's gone now. With this win, that's dead. However, I still like the number 2 pick, but if you win one more game, you're probably going to end up with the 5th pick or somewhere in there in the draft. And so we didn't do ourselves any favor in that department. But as I told you before, once Dwayne gets into the lineup, I want to win football games. So I'm torn, but my allegiance lies with the young fella because I know that his future is our future. And if he's not good, then our future is bleak. So I'm riding with the young fella. He gets the win today. And let's hope that he parlays this into more confidence and more efficient play moving forward. The Redskins had 4 yards after taking a 13-3 lead in the first half of this game, midway through the second quarter. 4 yards at the start of the fourth quarter. 4 yards to the Lions, like 211. What? Man, this team, I tell you, man, we are bad. I mean, wow. Sometimes it amazes me how bad we can be sometimes. Yikes. Anyway, I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Washington Redskins. Look, a win's a win in the National Football League. And as I said, it wasn't the prettiest, but it was gritty. It was a dub, and I'll take it any way I can get it. Dominic Garland with a super chat. Want to read this real quick. He says, Steve, let's see what he says. He says, Steven Sims is the best kick returner in the NFL, he says. I don't know about that, but he definitely is up there among the better ones in the league. Because look, there aren't many guys running kickoff returns for touchdowns anymore. That's a lost art in this league. So he may be one of maybe 4 or 5 guys that have done that this season. So Steven Sims is up there. I'd like to see him on punts. I said it before. I said it at the beginning of the season when he made the roster. I knew Jay was going to be apprehensive to put him back there because Jay, he had PTSD from Jamison Crowder a couple of years back. So I knew Jay wasn't going to put Trey, take him off of punts because Trey catches the ball. He fields the punt. So Jay was going to keep him back there. But once Jay got fired, I was like, hey, put Steven Sims back on punt returns. But I don't think it's going to happen. So it is what it is. But anyway, I thank you guys for joining me. We'll have much more on the Redskins 19-16 win on the Redskins Nightly News. I'm supposed to be on a bye week. Normally, you would get no content from me next week. But I'm going to give you some content, I think, up until Wednesday, and then that's when I'll shut the faucet off. So I think I'm going to save my bye week for later in the season when I go out of town. So you'll actually get content from me this week. Normally, week 13 or 12, depending on how Thanksgiving falls. Normally, the week of Thanksgiving is my bye week, but I'm going to be around this week. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the Redskins Nightly News. Enjoy the rest of the football, and maybe you're excited, maybe you're not. I can't call it for most of you Redskins fans. Everyone's got their own agenda. When you're 1-9 and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, everybody's got their own agenda. Some people want to win. Some fans want to lose. I don't know where you stand. I know some of you wanted to lose and lose badly the rest of the season to see if that would be good enough to get Bruce Allen fired. Bottom line is they won today. And if the defense plays anywhere close to this against, say, the Giants, they could win again. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm your man, Louie T, once again, signing off. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Louie T Network.